In 1990, Hollywood stood at a crossroads. On one side, the gritty, morally complex heroes of the 1970s men, like Dirty Harry, forged in silence, shadow, and consequence. On the other, the slick, wisecracking action stars of the 1980s men like John McClane, who killed terrorists while cracking jokes and crawling through air vents. And caught between them was a script called The Last Boy Scout, a hard-boiled thriller about a disgraced Secret Service agent and a down-on-his-luck quarterback, dragged into a conspiracy that would force them to choose between survival and redemption. It was supposed to be Clint Eastwood's next great film. Instead, it became Bruce Willis's biggest hit, then the quiet battleground of a feud that revealed everything about how Hollywood had changed and how one legend refused to change with it. I'm your host, and this is Buzz of Legends, where we don't just watch movies, we uncover the wars fought behind the camera. In 1989, screenwriter Shane Black, fresh off Lethal Weapon, penned The Last Boy Scout as a love letter to the hard-boiled detective stories of Raymond Chandler. With a twist of modern cynicism, the script was violent, dark, unapologetically adult. And when it landed on Clint Eastwood's desk, he saw something rare, a chance to update the anti-hero for a new decade without losing his soul. Eastwood himself said that heroes aren't perfect. They're just men who do the right thing when it costs them everything. Eastwood signed on to star and produce through his Malpaso company. He wanted to play Joe Hollenbeck, the broken ex-agent haunted by a failure that cost a president his life. Not a quit machine, not a super soldier. Just a man drowning in regret, forced to fight his way back to decency. His vision was clear: minimal dialogue, real stakes, no cartoonish villains, and absolutely no jokes during gunfights. This wasn't Die Hard. It was Dirty Harry meets Chinatown, a film about consequences, not coolness. But Hollywood in 1990 had a new ruler: the blockbuster. And after Die Hard made Bruce Willis a $20 million star, studios wanted every action film to feel like it. Warner Brothers loved Shane Black's script, but they didn't want Eastwood. He was 61, seen as old school, not bankable in the new era of quips and explosions. They wanted Bruce Willis younger, hotter, and fresh off Die Hard 2. Eastwood resisted. He'd already cast himself. He'd storyboarded scenes. He'd hired a location scout. But the studio pushed harder. Offers were made. Budgets were shifted. And slowly, Eastwood was edged out, not fired, but encouraged to step back as director and star. Producer Joel Silver later explained, "Clint was brilliant, but the studio wanted energy. They wanted someone who could sell posters to teenagers." That was in Clint in 1990. Eastwood agreed to stay on as executive producer, a title with little real power. But he warned, "If you turn this into a joke, you'll lose the heart." The studio nodded, went straight to work, making it bigger, faster, funnier. What emerged was a film torn in two. On one hand, Shane Black's dark, cynical script about corruption, betrayal, and men who've lost their way. On the other, Tony Scott's direction, flashy, kinetic, saturated with neon and one-liners. And Bruce Willis. He played Joe Hollenbeck with charisma, physicality, and a smirk, a man you'd want to drink with, not one you'd fear in a back alley. Remember the scene where Willis shoots a guy, then says, "I hate it when they do that." That's the movie in a nutshell. Eastwood watched early cuts in silence. Friends say he was disappointed, not angry. But he made his feelings known in subtle ways. In a 1992 interview, he said, "Some films today confuse noise for drama. You can't build tension with a joke." Willis, for his part, never attacked Eastwood, but he defended his approach. "People go to movies to escape. If I can make them laugh while they're scared, that's a win." Consider this. Eastwood's film Pale Rider has 5 minutes of silence before the first line is spoken. The Last Boy Scout has 3 one-liners in the first 2 minutes. This wasn't just about one movie. It was about 2 eras of masculinity in cinema. Eastwood's stoic, burdened man of few words versus Willis's resilient, witty everyman who wins through charm. Both valid, both iconic, but irreconcilable. The Last Boy Scout was released in December 1991. Critics were divided. Audiences loved it. It grossed $114 million worldwide, hit by any measure. But over time, it became a cautionary tale not for its violence or politics, but for how a powerful script got sandblasted into something shinier and emptier. As the film critic Roger Ebert wrote in his 1991 review, "Beneath the jokes and explosions lies a story that aches with despair." Too bad the movie keeps winking at us while it bleeds. Eastwood never publicly slammed the film, but he never worked with Warner Brothers again for over a decade. And when he returned, it was on his terms with Mystic River, a film of silence, grief, and moral ambiguity. The anti-Last Boy Scout. As for Willis, he went on to dominate the 1990s pulp fiction, Armageddon, The Fifth Element. But even he admitted in 2015, looking back, maybe we leaned too hard on the jokes. Some moments deserve to just hurt. The Eastwood-Willis rift over The Last Boy Scout wasn't personal, it was philosophical. And it foreshadowed a battle still raging in Hollywood today. Should heroes be relatable or aspirational? Should violence have weight or just look cool? Is cinema a mirror or an escape? Eastwood chose the mirror. Willis chose the escape, and both gave us masterpieces in their own right. But in 1991, the industry chose Willis. And for a moment, it looked like the stoic hero was gone for good. Yet today, we're seeing a quiet return to Eastwood's vision. Heroes who bleed. Silence that speaks. Stories where every bullet has a cost. Think of films like John Wick, Sicario, The Batman. Maybe the old man was right all along. Maybe we just needed time to catch up. This deep dive into one of Hollywood's most revealing creative clashes moved you. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more from Buzz of Legends. Next time, Gene Hackman versus Clint Eastwood, the tension behind Unforgiven. Until then, remember, the greatest battles in cinema aren't fought with guns. They're fought over what a hero should be.